In the shadow of Mount Everest, there's only one way to get rescued. But the death zone is the most dangerous place in the world.
No! We're in big trouble.
When disaster strikes at the top of the world,
Oh my God!
a rare breed of pilots put their lives on the line.
Anybody on this channel copy?
In the dying days of the climbing season, Brian searches in vain for a critically ill woman.
There's smoke. I mean, here's another smoke. We've got two smokes, but the coordinates are actually back there.
Jason pushes his helicopter to the limit to rescue a downed climber in the death zone.
They must come down to Camp 3.
And Lorenz battles a whiteout to save a Sherpa's life.
That's dangerous.
Danny!
Doesn't matter what you pray to or what you believe in. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Late spring, in the Himalayas, a critical stage of the climbing season. Dozens of mountaineers have now summited Everest and begun the treacherous descent.
I was up there today. I cannot believe it.
Once you summit, you're less than halfway, and people still get into a lot of trouble on the way down. In a lot of cases, it's just the start of troubles.
As climbers descend, exhaustion and extreme altitude start to take their toll. More die on the way down than on the way up. Rescue pilots are about to be busier than ever. 6 a.m. Pilot Jason Lang receives his first emergency call of the day.
We go to the south and come in that way.
With more than 5,000 hours of high-altitude flying under his belt, saving the lives of hundreds, Jason's a legend among Everest heli pilots.
It's my 5th year in Nepal. It's not that easy. It's not only the flying's challenging, it's dealing with everything. In emergency situations, we've got to deal with change.
An experienced climber has collapsed high on Everest with severe altitude sickness. His condition is rapidly deteriorating.
If he's not too bad, I'll bring him straight here. If he's quite critical,
Either straight to Kathmandu Hospital, either to Lachlan Hospital or straight to Kathmandu.
yeah.
The climber's exact location is unknown, but he's thought to be near Camp 3, more than 4 miles above sea level. To pull off this extreme altitude rescue, Jason will have to fly his heli to the limit of its capabilities.
Take everything out of the boat. We're going to get a lot of gear out of this.
To operate at 23,000 feet, the heli must be stripped of any excess weight.
We do take all the doors off because by taking all the doors off, we can reduce the helicopter weight by 80 kilos. No, I don't think this will come out. We leave these rubbers on, eh? Yeah, we leave them on.
Making the helicopter lighter gives Jason a better chance of maintaining control at high altitude, where the air is less dense.
9 Julius, hold on. Ready.
It's the second time this season he's attempted a rescue at this height. Jason's well aware of the danger.
I've got to be super cautious. Make sure I do my checks before I commit. And there's got to be some very clear-cut decisions to whether I can do this mission or not.
On the way up to Camp 3, Jason stops at Everest Base Camp to get more information on the exact location of the sick climber.
Camp 3, follow the route, and when you turn into the south door, exit there.
Is he at Camp 3 or above? At the yellow man?
Yeah, it's yellow and
It's too high. It's too high.
The critically ill climber is even further up Everest than Jason thought. To make the rescue, Jason would have to fly higher than ever before. The yellow band is a distinctive layer of limestone and marble at 25,000 feet. That's almost a mile above the helicopter's operational limit. No pilot has ever successfully rescued anyone from this height before. To even approach a chopper's operational ceiling is extremely dangerous.
Very unfortunate, but I can only do what I can do, eh?
One say, please, one time say. That's one person, Captain.
Okay, I'll try. So let's go in and come down between Camp 4 and Camp 3.
The lower they get, the safer it is for me.
I'll just try hovering with a long line on.
In the thin atmosphere at 25,000 feet, Jason won't have enough air resistance to land.
Now, I know you can't land above Camp 3. It can be extremely dangerous. So that's why we installed the long line.
Jason's plan is to fly up to the absolute limit of his operational range, 23,000 feet, near Camp 3. The sick climber must descend to meet him. Jason will use his long line to lift him to safety.
Clear for takeoff.
And clear, and we're away.
This is the highest rescue Jason has ever attempted.
At 23,000 feet in the helicopters that we're flying, the engine won't produce any more power. That's the ceiling. If I don't get off the mountain, I could die.
Here we go. Nice and controlled.
Lukla Airport. Pilot Ryan Skorecki is called into action.
One local lady? Hospital. No.
To the hospital.
To the hospital.
Right here.
Yeah.
A woman in a remote village has severe abdominal pain. It's thought an ulcer has perforated her stomach. She wouldn't survive the 3-day trek to the hospital.
She's not very good. She's not walking. And she's like, needs to get to a hospital.
Ryan's first season flying on Everest has put his skills to the test.
Okay, this has to happen right now, right now.
Ryan's flown in Alaska and Antarctica.
Limit up there is just beneath Mount J, 9,500.
But in conditions far more unpredictable, he's saved over 60 climbers in the Himalayas.
I remember flying for the first time thinking, wow, that's amazingly steep. And then when you get a little closer and you look, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. There's actually a village there. People are living here. It happens, you have to land at some unimproved spot or in some village, and that is tough.
The town closest to the injured woman is Bakachal, 20 miles south of Lukla. From there, Ryan will search the surrounding valleys for the woman's tiny village. Lukla base manager Lakpa Sherpa coordinates with villagers to pinpoint her location.
आगो चाहिँ बाल्नुस् तर फेरि हेलिकप्टर ल्यान्ड गर्न मिल्ने गरेर हाल्नुस् है हजुर बाल्नुस् है they are going to give us smoke signal.
Very often we're sent to places that we've never seen before. Lots of times with very little information. And we had rough coordinates and they said, well, we'll send a smoke signal.
Yes.
Get my stuff.
Volunteer medic Dr. Alex Kumar joins the rescue. He's concerned about the severity of the woman's condition.
Look, the Mandalay Delta is ready for departure.
Report set ko sun better okay.
Okay, here we go. The magic carpet ride.
Once he reaches Bakachal, Ryan must spot smoke from a tiny fire in the world's biggest mountain range.
For sure, it's over this river and the next river. We're gonna go over this hill and then descend.
As Ryan approaches the search area, visibility worsens.
Thought it's actually more hazy up here than it was in Lukla.
My big problem with the haze is that you can't see the cloud that is coming up, right? And then all of a sudden, poof, then you're in a cloud. You can't see anything all of a sudden you can fly into the ground.
Trying to spot a smoke signal in these conditions is almost impossible.
Okay, my GPS is saying right down here. Well, I don't see any village or anything. Okay, we're gonna descend about 3,000 feet really fast.
Determined to get the injured woman to the hospital, Ryan flies lower and makes another sweep of the area.
Okay, the coordinates are directly underneath us. Okay, do we see any smoke? I'm not sure. I should be right here. Maybe we do another, we'll do another pass. Okay, turning around again.
Ryan is rapidly burning fuel. He must find the signal soon, or he'll be forced to abandon the rescue.
While you're trying to figure out the best place to land, you're definitely making a lot of decisions very quickly. That is tough.
What to do? Well, I don't know what to say.
Blind check, and it's not spinning.
Veteran pilot Jason Lang is attempting his highest ever rescue on Mount Everest. A climber has fallen ill in the death zone. It's likely he's suffering from severe altitude sickness and could die if he's not pulled off the mountain.
Captain Jason, do you feel good?
Yeah, everything is fine.
Jason plans to rendezvous with the stricken climber at 23,000 feet, the maximum altitude that his chopper can fly. At 22,500 feet, there's no sign of the climber. Jason uses all his experience to coax his heli to its absolute limit.
High altitude, the helicopter has to work harder to maintain a stationary hover. The air is so much thinner, and because it's thinner, you need to move more of it. So the rotor system at altitude struggles.
There he is there. See there?
Jason thinks he can see the climber, but he's still 2,000 feet above, in the death zone.
I just want to take it easy here, up the middle. Whoa.
When the audio alarm goes off, I've reached the limit, and there's only one thing that happens after that. You start sinking very quickly.
The alarm warns Jason the air is too thin for him to fly. He's running out of options, fast.
No, I can't. Blackper. Yeah. They must come down between Camp 2, Camp 3. Sorry.
It is frustrating when those people are just so close. But, you know, you can only do so much.
The rescue can only happen if the climber descends below 23,000 feet. Jason must abort the mission, leaving the sick climber in a fight for his life.
Well, let's see what's around this corner.
40 miles to the south, Ryan is on a mission to save a local woman suffering from a potentially life-threatening stomach condition.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not sure. I don't know how much time to waste here.
With no roads and the nearest hospital a 3-day trek away, helicopter rescue is her best chance of survival.
Oh, this haze. I'm tired of the haze.
Ryan searches for a smoke signal in a remote valley covered with a thick haze.
Okay, do we see any smoke?
With every second he searches, Ryan's fuel drops lower. He can't risk being stranded, but decides to make one final pass over the valley.
Come on. Oh, wait a minute. there's smoke.
Where?
It's down this ridge line.
Yeah.
But here's another smoke. We got 2 smokes, but the coordinates are actually back there.
There are 2 smoke signals, but Ryan doesn't have enough fuel to risk multiple landings.
Oh, wait a minute. People standing. Oh, yep. There's people. There's a pad. It would help if they would wave or do something.
Or someone is carrying.
Yeah, that's over there. Okay, they're waving. That's them. I'm gonna set down right here.
Okay. You're good. Good.
Ryan keeps the rotors turning so he can take off the second the woman is on board.
Everybody is in?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, turning around again.
With the chopper airborne, Dr. Alex quickly checks the woman's condition.
Vodka. Yeah, this lady's not very well.
Yeah.
Her heart rate's going at about 130, 145, and she's getting spasmodic pain. Really severe pain. You know, you'd have to say, without even listening to their abdomen with a stethoscope, that perforation will be very high up. So I think she's going to be an urgent case for Kathmandu. I don't see her doing well overnight here.
Do we have fuel for Kathmandu?
Right now, no.
No fuel.
We don't have fuel enough for Kathmandu.
Low on fuel, Ryan has no choice but to take the patient to Lukla Hospital, where Dr. Alex can further assess the woman's condition.
Ryan, can we prep Lukla Hospital that we're coming at all?
I live down to 10 DME South, and we're going to be coming in. We need to land at the hospital. Can you let the hospital know we're coming in with a female patient? And 9 Delta's landing at the hospital. Shutting down will call you before starting up again.
Lima Delta, call on departure.
Lima Delta.
Kelsey, do we have a stretcher?
Okay. Not so good. Okay, you both got it.
Literally having just landed, we need to find what's going on with her. Gelson, no, she'll need an abdominal x-ray. She'll need some x-ray.
X-rays will show if an ulcer has perforated her stomach.
If there is a hole, that's a serious surgical emergency, especially if she's unwell, and she'll need to go to Kathmandu.
I tried hovering at the yellow band, but no, not possible. Impossible. It's just too high.
After his aborted rescue of the climber clinging to life in the death zone, Jason is back at Lukla Airport prepping for another attempt.
Yeah?
So we need to go back again.
Yes?
And we drive up to Sherpa to the Camp 2.
Just Camp 2.
Just Camp
Yes, just Camp 2. Okay.
Jason's plan is to fly 2 Sherpas to the highest landing zone on Earth, Everest Camp 2. From there, they'll head into the death zone to find the climber and carry him low enough for Jason to attempt a rescue.
Captain, you can land all the way to the camp and all the way to the shippers.
I'll drop these to the helipad. Crew ready? Everyone okay? Okay, lifting.
Only a handful of pilots have ever touched down at 21,000 feet.
Oh, the weather's changing up here.
Ominous clouds are forming, threatening whiteout conditions with zero visibility. Jason's second rescue attempt is already in trouble.
We can't fly into cloud. We've got to see where we're going. You end up flying into the mountain.
If Jason can't get the Sherpas to Camp 2, the climber will remain stranded high on the mountain, and Everest will claim another victim.
It is frustrating when we can't fly into cloud because it's too dangerous. But I was under pressure to help bring this person down.
The western coast closing. That's terrible. That's horrible.
we're here.
A critically ill climber is stranded in the death zone beyond the reach of a rescue helicopter.
Oh, gotta be careful around here.
Jason's flying 2 Sherpas to Everest Camp 2 at 21,000 feet. From there, they'll try to reach the climber on foot and bring him down to a safe landing zone.
The western cove's closing.
Closing.
But the weather threatens to make Jason abandon the mission for a second time.
Yeah, the weather's not very good up there.
You're at such a high altitude and the weather is closing in. Now that is a very dangerous situation to be in. But I was just so close. I didn't want to abort.
The landing pad is within sight.
Okay, I'm just gonna nice and easy here.
Jason must quickly drop the 2 Sherpas and escape before bad weather strands him unacclimated at 21,000 feet.
And slowing down. Speed under control. 389 RPM. There. Very good. Shut the doors. Shut the doors. We're off.
It was a tricky one. If I had been like 15 minutes later, it would have been unachievable. But that's where it rolls.
All Jason can do now is return to Lukla and wait for the Sherpas to call when they've found the climber. For a rescue pilot, the 2-month Everest climbing season is far from routine. Any flight can change in an instant, testing a pilot's skill and nerve.
Lima Delta, we are 10,500 descending for Lukla.
Late afternoon, Lorenz races to Lukla Airport.
Hospital.
Base controller Lakpa Sherpa has just received an urgent call for help. A Sherpa with a severe heart condition needs immediate evacuation from Lukla Hospital to a better equipped facility 85 miles away in Kathmandu.
I'm trying to send Lauren as soon as possible to Lukla Hospital. Lukla to Lukla Hospital, then straight back to Kathmandu.
The light is fading. Flying at night in Nepal is so dangerous, it's illegal. Lorenz has to decide if he can get the patient to Kathmandu before sunset.
I don't know. It's really difficult to judge. If we go and we see we will not make it, we would have to go back to hospital.
It's not for nothing that they prohibit flying in night, because Nepal has weather-wise a lot of haze, very thick haze, and if you lose the light, it's like flying in a cloud. It's very dangerous.
So we have 1 hour and 2 minutes left from now.
1 hour and 2 minutes.
If the weather is with us, it will be fine.
Okay.
Lukla 9 Lima Delta is ready for departure.
With just an hour until sunset and a total flight time of 50 minutes, Lorenz will be cutting it close.
All right, we tried our best. Lima Charlie has crossed active and is on final for Lukla Hospital.
For Lorenz, it's a chance worth taking for a critically ill patient.
9 Lima Charlie is on ground Lukla Hospital. All right, people are approaching. Everything all right? Off we go.
He's in a race against darkness.
How is he? Not good. All right. I try my best to be as fast as possible.
As Lorenz flies west towards Kathmandu, the light fades fast. His worst fears about the weather are realized.
You any information if it's out of clouds or not?
They said the weather was good.
Holy cow. Sorry, but that's dangerous there to fly in there.
Weather in Nepal can change quite quickly. You could clearly see above the clouds, like it was crystal clear, but you're not allowed to fly over a closed cloud cover because in case of emergency, you don't know what's below you.
We should go below the clouds.
If Lorenz enters the clouds, he'll lose visibility and could crash into a mountain without ever seeing it. Unless he finds a clear route through the thick clouds, he'll have to turn back.
We can't go there. Damn it! Oh.
Everest Rescue pilot Lorenz is racing against nightfall to get a critically ill Sherpa to a hospital in Kathmandu.
Look straight, breathe. That's the best you can do.
The light is fading, and now a dangerous cloud bank blocks his way.
Not looking too good. Here, what I can do is like fly a little bit further, and then we'll have to make a decision and go back.
Kathmandu is at least 25 minutes away. But with only 30 minutes of light left, Lorenz desperately needs an opening in the clouds.
This valley looks a little bit less good. The clouds just become bigger here. Unbelievable! Okay, beautiful. It looks open. Oh, now we'll see. We can definitely descend.
The hole we had there was very good. I had reference. It's just a little bit maneuvering with the helicopter to descend there.
Once below the cloud base, it's an all-out race through the haze.
20 minutes. 20 minutes to Kathmandu. Kathmandu approach from Lima Charlie.
When we came up, like this red ball, the sun almost setting, that looked great.
That was great view, huh? Here we are.
With just moments to spare, Lorenz safely delivers the Sherpa to hospital.
Glad we could do that.
We sat down on the east helipad 3 minutes before sunset, so that was good.
"7 a.m. in Kathmandu. Captain Surendra Paudel begins his workday at home with his family.
These are the ritual things we do. In the morning, like we worship gods, for goodness and peace and things like that.
Surendra trained as a pilot in the Nepalese military and has been flying helicopters in the Himalayas for over 13 years.
I am very much proud of him, but I am his wife and I am always worried about him. I think helicopter is his second wife.
Surendra and rescue coordinator Tashi Sherpa have been called to rescue a climber suffering from severe exhaustion. Late in the climbing season, it's one of the biggest causes of injury and illness. The sick climber and his guide are stuck at 21,000 feet near Mira Peak, 100 miles east of Kathmandu. Tashi spots the climber and his guide in the snowpack below. But to rescue the climber, Surendra would have to land on a steep glacier where snow hides deep crevices. There is no way to confirm a stable landing spot.
This kind of operations It's a situation, s1e. If you do the mistake, that mistake is not like a general mistake. So you are risking all their lives. Risk is always there.
The exhausted climber is unable to get off the mountain on his own. To save his life, Surendra has to find a way to land.
Somebody is dying if we are not in time.
Back at Lutla, Jason preps for another attempt to reach a climber who's been fighting for his life in the death zone.
He's still alive. I'll go and get him out of Camp 2 and we'll see how it goes. Yep.
Sherpas have now got the climber to an altitude they hope Jason can reach.
Hey, Tring, front seat out, because I'm going into Camp 2.
Overnight, the climber's condition has worsened dramatically. He needs to get to the hospital fast.
I know Julie's a little ready.
Visibility on Mount Everest has improved.
Yeah, we'll go through here.
But the rising temperature could have a devastating effect on Jason's ability to land.
It's very, very hot here. Oh, I think it may be too hot, huh? It was +1 degree. Now that's crazy. For the performance side of things, the helicopter's very lazy and, you know, it struggles to fly.
In high temperatures, air is less dense. A helicopter's rotors can't generate anywhere near as much lift.
I don't know if I can land, huh? I don't know.
In these difficult conditions, Jason is struggling to control the speed of his descent.
Oh, pulling power in. Real careful. Here we go. Nice and controlled. Very dangerous. Just one, huh?
To have enough power to get airborne again, Jason can only take the sick climber.
No.
With any more weight, he could get stranded, unacclimated at 21,000 feet, and die.
Okay, I have one.
Jason pushes his heli to full throttle.
Nice and gently. You're looking at the front, look at the power. Pull up power. And more weight.
Now, every second counts. The faster Jason can get his patient down to lower altitude, the better his chance of survival.
You know, with the altitude sickness, you're racing against time there. You gotta start bringing them down as quick as possible.
After 24 hours and 3 flights to the edge of the death zone, Jason finally gets the critically ill climber to medical care.
Up on the ground.
But even at lower altitude, the climber's life hangs in the balance.
I need to get a hold of the hospital now. This man tips up from Camp 2. He's not really very responsive, unable to walk in a straight line or carry himself. He's vomited. It all spells out one thing, which is high altitude cerebral edema, which is life-threatening.
A local woman rescued by Ryan from her remote village is undergoing treatment in Lutla for a stomach ulcer.
The medication she's been taking in the community, which she's run out of, that basically turns down the stomach acid. So the stomach becomes too inflamed and she's ended up in hospital with severe pain.
The results of her x-ray will determine if she needs an emergency operation in Kathmandu.
You can actually see that it appears roughly normal. Her ulcer hasn't perforated. It's all good news, really. All we need to do is get her back on a medication and she should get better. Perfect.
Nepali pilot Surendra Paudel is attempting to rescue a sick climber from a steep slope in a deadly crevasse field. Attempting a landing here could quickly end in disaster. The climber is barely able to walk. Surendra must get as close as possible. He decides to attempt a partial hover, a tricky and dangerous maneuver. Surendra approaches parallel to the slope and balances the helicopter on one skid, reducing the amount of weight on the unstable glacier.
There was nothing I can do. I was just hovering and getting the reference and, putting myself comfortable as close as to the ground so that Tasi can get out and bring the patient.
While Surendra hovers, Tashi helps the exhausted climber on board.
So, condition of the patient is he has got altitude sickness. To get him out from the situations, the only thing I can do is fly him to the safer place.
The climber is seriously ill. Surendra flies him directly to Kathmandu Hospital.
But when I go for rescue and it's a successful rescue mission, then I really feel good. You don't have to have somebody saying, "Oh, you did a great job," because saving a life. It's human nature.
Back at the hospital in Lukla, Jason stands by to help the gravely ill climber rescued from the death zone.
I need to get a hold of the hospital now. I wish these phones would work.
The man needs immediate evacuation to a larger hospital.
Okay, perfect. I'll get him to the hospital now, okay?
He's very sick. Yeah, we've got to get going here.
It's 85 miles to Kathmandu and life-saving treatment.
Auckland, Kathmandu, 8,500 via the south. I know Julie Zulu is ready now. Ramjata, hello. Just entering your valley to the north, sir, 8,500. There has been times that we do get people off for rescue and it's touch and go whether or not you're going to get them to hospital alive. We can only do our part. Alpha, Julia Zulu landing.
50 minutes later, Jason lands in Kathmandu. An emergency medical team is waiting at the helipad to rush the climber to the hospital. Jason's repeated efforts to save him mean he's made it down from Everest alive.
It is rewarding. You do get good, safe endings. Yeah, it makes it worth it for everyone that's been involved.
Everest's busiest climbing season in years is coming to a close. For the international rescue pilots, it marks the end of their time in Nepal. Lorenz touches down in Kathmandu for the last time.
That's my reminder that it's time to go home tomorrow. Coming to Nepal is like exploring a myth. because like as a helicopter pilot, there are so many stories about flying in the Himalayas, and it's an honor for me to actually be here and explore that.
At Lukla Airport, Ryan says his goodbyes.
Alrighty. It was nice working with you.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate all the help.
Yeah, I've had a really good experience here. The new stuff to me, the really high altitude stuff, I was expecting that to be a challenge, and it was.
I can only get one of the young fellas to do that for me.
I don't have that kind of pull yet. Maybe next season.
For Everest veteran Jason, another season flying at the top of the world is in the books.
I reckon you've been putting things in my bags. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, we had a great season. It was a successful season, which is great because it's good for Nepal, it's good for the economy, and it lets the rest of the world know that, yeah, Everest is back on the books again.